Hello! It's so nice to see you here with me on a beautiful sunny day. My name is Khalida, and we are here today to learn the present progressive or present continuous tense. This means that we are now working in our second set of tenses, as in our last grammar video we finished the simple tenses. Do you remember the two questions that I had given you to use to determine which tense is best for different situations in English? The first one was about timeline. Did it happen in the past, present, or future? And the second one is about if the action is temporary or continuous. I'm sure that you can determine based on the name present progressive that this tense happens in the present. One thing that is important to note with this is that although we often use present progressive to refer to an ongoing action in the present, it can also be used to talk about something that will happen in the future if it is already known or planned. When this happens, however, it does need to use a time phrase to give the listener the information they need to understand that this event is not happening right now. For example, in 3 minutes. Or next week. We can use the name as a clue for if the action is temporary or continuous as well. The name present continuous gives this answer away pretty easily. The action is continuous. However, you may get confused if you hear someone refer to this tense as present progressive. The tense is the same, even though it has two different names. The root of the word progressive is progress. If you look at it this way, you can easily see that the action is in progress. This quick evaluation tells us that we use the present progressive tense when you are doing an action right now. The best part of the progressive tenses is that they build on what we have already learned with the simple tenses, making it easier to know and understand how to correctly form them. We form this tense by using correct conjugation of the verb to be for the subject being referred to, and then adding the present participle of the main verb. Essentially, this means adding the letters ing to the base form of the verb. Do you remember the correct conjugation of the verb to be? Just as a quick reminder, the verb to be is always irregular. So when we conjugate it in the present, we hear I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, and they are. This means that the beginning of every present progressive phrase will begin with one of those conjugations, followed by a verb with an added ing. When we are speaking about this, we can refer to this as verbing, although that is not a real word. Let's look at a quick example of this so that we can fully understand the formation of this tense. To do this, let's use the verb to talk. I am talking, you are talking, he is talking, she is talking, it is talking, we are talking, they are talking. Notice how the verb to be is conjugated exactly how we described it above, and the base form of the verb to talk simply has an ing added to it, regardless of which subject we are referring to. Simple, right? You may be wondering what kinds of situations would lead us to use the present progressive tense. If I'm being perfectly honest, the present progressive tense is used to describe something happening right now, far more often than the simple present is. In fact, about 5% of all verbs used in spoken English are spoken in the present tense. Anytime there is an action that is currently happening, meaning at the exact moment that the person is talking, we would use this tense. For example, I am talking. This is happening right now, and it has not ended yet. We also use it to describe things or situations that currently exist. For example, something that someone is currently wearing, such as, she is wearing red shoes. Alternatively, this can also be used when we are describing something that is happening temporarily, or a temporary situation. This means that we can use the tense even if something is not happening at the exact moment that we are speaking. For example, they are living across the street while the neighbors are gone. Now that we know when we would use this tense and how to form it, it is important to understand exceptions to the rules. For clarity, there are always extra aspects that we should be aware of. In this case, there are several spelling variations which may help you understand different sentences. First of all, if a verb ends with an E, we need to remove the E before adding the ing. For example, poke changes to poking. If a verb ends with an IE, we need to replace the IE with a Y before adding ing. For example, lie changes to lying. Finally, if the last syllable of the verb has a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern that is stressed, we have to double the last consonant before adding the ing. For example, sit and sitting. As with our previous tenses, we also want to learn how to use this tense in a positive as well as negative and interrogative forms. The good news is that the negative form of present continuous is as easy as slipping the word not between the conjugated form of to be and the present participle. For example, I am not singing, or they are not cleaning their room. As always, don't forget that we can easily see contractions happen both with the verb to be as well as the word not. This means that the phrase being used can easily and commonly change, especially in speech. For example, I'm not singing can be commonly heard rather than I am not singing. For the subjects other than I, there are two ways that sentences can be properly contracted. For example, they're not cleaning their room and they aren't cleaning their room are both equally valid. To form the interrogative version of the present progressive tense for a yes or no question, simply flip the subject and verb to be in the sentence. An example of this is he going to the store? If we want a more detailed answer, we can simply stick a question word in front of the whole question. For example, when is he going to the store? I suggest forming a short list of verbs such as walk, swim, ride, and play, and practice using them correctly in each of the positive, negative, and question forms of present progressive to get very comfortable using this tense. If you have any questions about what we have learned today, make sure you comment below and I will address them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching and have a great day.